welcome back to another episode 3 of our continuing series with the Virtual Voices. And we are a podcast that is originated from The Well, a United Methodist Church in Rosemount, Minnesota. And we're so glad that you guys are here and you're listening to us. Click subscribe so that you can get an alert every single time that we pop on a new video or podcast, which is every Friday. We'll have new interviews from members at The Well sharing their faith journeys and anything they have to share about what's going on at The Well. And today we have Dave and Gayle Kitchel, who are longtime members at The Well. How are you guys doing today?
We're doing fine.
We're doing great.
Fantastic. So let's just jump right in here. What is your connection with The Well, and how long have you guys been members?
Well, I got connected. Dave and I have been married 7 years come May. And I started coming to The Well 2 years before we got married. We were dating. And so it's been about 9 years that I've been at The Well.
Fantastic.
And I've been here about 26 years. I started coming in May of 1995. I love garage sailing. I stopped in at The Well to buy something at the garage sale, and lo and behold, I've still got that workbench out in my garage.
Sounds like that was quite the Segway workbench that you found.
That's right. That's right.
Got you to a whole new community.
Yep.
That's awesome. Yep. So, as you know, we've been in a pandemic for a little over a year.
Say it isn't so.
I know. I mean, it's just crazy. It seems like it was just yesterday, right? So what did your pandemic experience look like in the last year?
For me, when it first started, I was making phone calls to different people at church, just checking in with them, asking if they had any prayer requests. And sometimes I prayed with them right on the phone. They were really in a tough spot, and I could tell that. And so I would ask them, do you need prayer right now? And they said, yes. So I prayed with them over the phone. And then from there, I was homeschooling my granddaughter in North Carolina. So I thought it would be really simple, but I was online with her twice a day and then working in between. So then instead of doing phone calls with The Well, I started sending out cards because I could do that at nighttime. So I was I would just pick certain people that were really isolated or had something going on in their life. So I would either send them a get well or I'm thinking of you card or a thank you card for what they were doing during the pandemic.
In the initial weeks, I felt like I was in a science fiction movie.
The Twilight Zone, right?
Yeah, the world was shut down.
Yeah,
everything was closed. The highways were empty. I was part-time bus driver for disabled people. That went away. It just felt weirder weird like nothing I'd ever experienced. And I'm sure that's true of most of the people in this world. It's just because they haven't experienced it either. And for about a month, I just sort of tried to get myself oriented, I guess. At least I think that's what it was. And then Pastor Sherry pointed out to me that the people in our Bible class needed a way to stay connected. So I started doing a newsletter, as you know. That was in April, a year ago. And then in August, you and I worked together and helped that newsletter go to most of the congregation. And that newsletter it showed me in no uncertain terms how important this church family is to me. Because talking to people on the phone, highlighting different people each month for each issue, talking about the church, talking about the pandemic, that brought it all very much in sharp focus to me that this church family, is absolutely essential to me. And it made me feel very integral. It made me feel like I very much want to do what I can for this outfit. So that's kind of been a director, a guide for me. Pandemic has gotten in the way of a lot of things because Zoom just ain't the same as seeing people personally, as you well know.
Yeah.
But I'm glad it's coming back. I'm looking forward to getting out there and getting back to whatever new normal we're going to have.
Yeah, because you're pretty involved with the church. I know, Gail, you do some ushering, correct? And, Dave, you're kind of running around with your camera too, taking all of our pictures, which is fantastic because then we have a recording of our events. And sometimes when we're in the midst of planning all of it, we don't exactly get any of the pictures. And so to have you, Dave, in the background taking all those pictures, and then you send us an email and say, here's a bunch of pictures that I take, that it's just so very helpful. And you guys, in the last year, our faith has been tested, and we know that the Well community is a very in-person community. We connect in person, and that's the way a lot of churches are. But to have it all of a sudden our doors shut, and we have lost that connection. We had to go virtual basically in a week. That connection was lost, and that was where we had to figure out, how are we going to do this? Like Pastor Sherry has said, the church is not a building, we are the church, and that tested that definitely in this last year.
Absolutely.
So how, I know, Gail, you said you had reached out to people right away in the beginning. As the year kind of went on and we got into, the holidays, when everybody loves to get together and celebrate the holidays, as a church, Christmas is a big thing. And so
Right.
when we weren't able to get together to do all of that, how did you guys keep the faith during the holidays and through this new year? And was it tough at times?
It was tough, but I leaned on the Psalms 46:10, be still and know that I am God. I leaned into that scripture. I leaned into a lot of scripture, Jeremiah 29:11, the plans I have for you. But like for us, we couldn't meet with our family, the grandchildren. We have 16 grandchildren. We could not meet with them, so we did a Zoom Christmas. And
Yep.
so there was no food, no gift exchange. Well, I did gifts from grandma and grandpa, but we either mailed them or we dropped them off on the family's front steps, and then some of the kids stopped by here with gifts for Dave and I. But the Zoom Christmas was really different because it's usually really chaos with that many people. There's about 30 of us.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up doing a scavenger hunt online on our Zoom Christmas. And that was not easy because I have grandchildren from the age of 2 up to the age of 26 years old. So I grouped them. I had groups. I had like 4 different scavenger hunts with 4 groups of the kids. So that was kind of new and different. It was a lot of hard work,
But that sounds fantastic.
I never would have figured that out.
It was fun, but you had to really think about, these are college kids. I'm gonna have their own thing, and these are high school kids, and it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah.
The pandemic was on top of us, and we all know what happened last May. George Floyd's killing tripped a trigger in me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I mentioned to you, Tami, I was active in the civil rights movement as a young man, and a lot of old feelings came back to the surface. And with Jen Spickelmeyer's help, I got active. I attended some classes, Fighting Racism Today, Building Bridges, helping people come together and talk to each other. I attended those classes. I really felt like, because I'm very healthy for a 74-year-old guy, got way too much energy for my age, I really think that the Lord wants me to go to work and do what I can, not only for the church, but also to see what I can do to help in the anti-racism movement. Even if it's just pulling people of different cultural groups and ethnicities together to talk to each other and try to disarm some of the terrible divisiveness that's developed in our country over the past several years. We got to fix things. This isn't good. This isn't going the right direction. And I really want to I'm working hard on becoming active and trying to reverse that trend.
Yeah, that was, on top of the pandemic, we also had that. And we also had, that was something that stemmed quite the movement in the last
Mhm.
year.
Yeah.
And so definitely, yeah, we were part of those classes together, and there was a lot of deep work there. And I hope that the Well can continue that as we start to open back up and we start to hopefully bring in more people that will help move that along. You know, that's what the Well is. We are welcoming of all, and we are leaning into that core value that we have. We don't just say it; we are doing the work. And I hope that we can bring more to bring light to that. Absolutely, Dave. Yeah.
And Tami, what helped me through the pandemic is we do a disciple class on Monday nights, and then Tuesday nights I'm in a women's Bible study that has met for 18 years. So I Zoomed that. So Zooming was all new to me. And then on Friday nights, our renewal group gets together. So I'm part of the UEC council board meeting, and we meet once a month. And there's been a lot of prayer that we've been through, but we're trying to come up with different thoughts and ideas how to get UEC back in motion. So we're hoping that it will begin in the early part of 2022.
Yeah, speaking of, looking forward here, I think it's really hard to say where this pandemic is going. I think we see kind of a light at the end of the tunnel here. It seems like we're opening up a little bit more. What are you guys now looking forward to in the coming year? Like, what are your hopes and wishes? What are you looking forward to actually doing if you're coming back to church?
I'm really excited that church is opened up now. It's just really, I'm excited about it. But moving forward, we both have gotten our shots. I got my last one last Friday. So I have like another 2 weeks to go before I'm totally protected. And then I want to just give my grandkids hugs and my kids.
Yep.
I want to see family and friends, face to face instead of on Zoom. So, and we have social distance with the kids, here and there, but that's just not the same.
I'm looking forward to actually meeting people in this anti-racist work I'm doing. The Zoom is just too limiting when it comes to establishing rapport and getting groups together. And I'm really looking forward to being able to go out and do that. And I'm also looking forward to going out and doing more exercising to lose some of this COVID weight that I picked up. And unfortunately, I picked up a bunch. So I got work cut out for me.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything you do.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. I'm glad that you guys could come on Virtual Voices with me. Thank you, Dave and Gayle. You guys have a wonderful week.
God bless.
God bless you, Tami. Bye.